Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live for this April 4th, 2024. It is Thursday, and we are, 4 days away from solar eclipse activity.
Yes, and I just heard this morning we're talking about an overcast in Ohio. Yeah, might not be. Well, keep your fingers crossed, but that was the latest forecast I just heard this morning.
Now, Marshall McPeak said here recently, meteorologist on Fox 28 and ABC 6, had mentioned that even if we had overcast skies, you're still going to notice that there is a solar eclipse because it's going to be dark. So,
we were talking about wearing the glasses. I put them on, and I can't see anything. I can't wear them very long walking around the house. I'll be bumping into everything. So.
Yeah. And I did, just to follow up, if you are like us, wearing glasses, put those glasses over these glasses, not the other way around. Like when you come out of the eye doctor's office and you've been dilated and they put those sunglasses behind your glasses. No, that's not how you wear them. You wear them over your corrective lenses.
Gotcha.
So just wanted to make sure people knew that because we did the research. And the reason we do the research is not for our own knowledge all the time.
It's for you.
Share that with
we do that just
precisely.
For you.
It is a public service of Dan and Mike. All right, coming up in a moment on this daily program, we'll take a look at those stories that are making news across the Scioto Valley. Also, up ahead, we actually follow up on a story about the flight simulator that's been installed with Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. We went out for a little field trip yesterday, so we'll tell you more about that coming up in a look at news topics. But first, the weather is not quite what it was yesterday. And we went through, I think, 4 different seasonal cycles yesterday.
Yeah. You might have correctly seen snow flying this morning. We believe now that it's 39 degrees currently here in Chillicothe, that we probably have seen the last of that for the day, but we could see some on and off showers. High today of 46, mostly cloudy, 46 for Friday, but sunshine for the weekend, 51 on Saturday and 58 on Sunday, maybe 68 by Monday.
Aaron Glannon and I were out on an assignment yesterday, and we at Zane Trace High School, we came out, it was sunshiny, it looked beautiful, but on the way towards Chillicothe, there was this dark cloud, a long dark cloud making its approach. By the time I got back on Eastern Avenue, I was being pelted by ice.
Yeah.
And it was just a wacky weather day yesterday.
There's it's been around, I'm sure. I've just never heard of it a lot, except over the last year or two. Grapple. It's like between sleet and rain. I've never heard of that before.
Is it what they used to call sneet?
Sneet.
Maybe they call it
instead of
grapple
sleet,
now instead.
Yeah,
so,
it could be. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll also introduce a new sponsor to you. We'll share details coming up shortly. But first,
Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. Full disclosure, I'm a customer of theirs and have been for many years. And the fact that I keep calling them back, I guess that means I'm satisfied. Hopefully you will be too. In business for more than 40 years, and they've stretched out beyond the Scioto Valley from east to western Ohio. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Mike used a full disclosure just a few moments ago. I should do the same. Haynes Chiropractic has been my chiropractor for most of my life, and maybe for you too. 1974 is when they were established, and they've been celebrating this year as their 50th anniversary of being in business. Haynes Total Health Care Center off of Marietta Pike, and of course, or Marietta Road. You'll find them right there at 1 Medical Drive. Chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutrition. More details, just click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you right to hayneshealth.com. Let's take a look at news stories for you today, which you can follow along if you want. Some of these news stories we have up on our website, littermedia.com. And we're starting with an award for a pretty good fella that has helped revitalize downtown Chillicothe.
Yeah, the Nathaniel Massey chapter had the honor of presenting the NSDAR Historic Preservation Medal to local businessman and entrepreneur Ed Kunselman, a lifelong resident of Chillicothe. Ed's done a lot to save historic buildings in our area, adding businesses that also employ locals, and served as an example that has led to others preserving historic buildings in the community. For more than 4 decades, Ed has been giving back to our community by restoring our beautiful downtown, most of which was constructed 1853 to 1889. Now, that's our good buddy Teresa Reap on the left there, presenting that award locally here to Mr. Kunselman. Congratulations, Ed.
I was doing some research on Chillicothe sports several years back, and I was going through old yearbooks at the library at Chillicothe High School. And while I was going through there was a picture of Ed Kunselman. I think it was 1930-something, 1939 maybe. It may have been in the early 40s, as a cheerleader.
Really?
Had the sweater on, had the megaphone and all that kind of stuff. So he is indeed Mr. Chillicothe.
He's a cheerleader for our town.
It certainly is. Yesterday afternoon, we went out to Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center's flight simulator, which is being housed at Zane Trace High School. And we caught up with Andrew Vitito. He was giving us a pilot demonstration, a flight demonstration here. And as he goes through and tells us more about how they got
as
involved.
board members, we're always looking at how we can help the district and how we can serve the students. About a year ago, they had a field trip where they came out to the Pickaway County Airport, which is where we have a lot of our operation for Vitito Aviation, and they did a tour of the different aircraft out there and some different jobs that are available in the aviation industry. And that was about the time that they said, well, we do some simulator training and we do some drone certification. And then over the summer, they said, well, we're looking at maybe advancing that simulator a little bit. And the advances in software and hardware involved in the simulators, you can actually create a very worthwhile experience for not too much outlay of capital. And so what we were able to do is kind of come in and help with some software recommendations, with some controls that we could donate, and some screens, and give them something that's more of a realistic environment to where when they would actually sit down in a Cessna 172, they would feel comfortable. They would know what's going on if they want to pursue flight beyond the classroom.
Andrew, of course, is a board member. Let me push the microphone on. Andrew is a pilot, but he also is with Vitito Aviation. He's also a board member for the Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. And Ben Buckwalter, who's the IT guy out there, says, we were approached about this, making an upgrade to the flight simulator program that is just run by the computers. And you steer it by using your mouse and so on and so forth. And he says, how fun is that? Not very. So he, along with Andrew, put their heads together and they built this flight simulator. They invested into a simulator program. And with the assistance of Vitito Aviation, you saw those pedals that they were using there. That's all actual parts that would be used in an airplane, and they will soon be putting in railing and an actual Cessna seat.
Wow.
So that you can actually get the feel of flying for what it truly is like. And I will tell you, we watched this during the flight. They took a test flight from Ross County Airport to Pickaway County Airport, which is only about 5 minutes long. But the topography and everything that they were seeing, and you had the big main screen like you're looking out the front window, but then the other screens are off to the side. They give you that peripheral view.
Yeah.
Even taxiing down the roadway, you can see it just like you're looking outside the window of a plane as you're flying. So this is really cool. It's something that we did yesterday, and Aaron's going to be putting this together. Hopefully over the weekend, we'll have a complete package that you'll be able to see on Litter Media's YouTube channel. So thank you to Pickaway Ross extending the opportunity to do that.
Very good. The Ohio Committee for Severe Weather Awareness, in cooperation with the National Weather Service and the Ohio Emergency Management Agency, has announced the winners of the annual Severe Weather Awareness Poster Contest, with one of those winners being from Ross County. Anna West of Bishop Flaget School won for the entire state in the first grade division for the State of Ohio contest. This was open to all Ohio students, kindergarten age through 6th grade. Now, we understand that Anna's not in this photo.
Correct. There were 7 winners, and she is the one that was unable to be in the photo. So, and I reached out to Bishop Flaget to see if we could get more details and everything. They're on spring break this week.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay.
So maybe we can catch up with Anna next week or something and get a shot of her picture. The Ohio Severe Weather Awareness people were telling us that they were going to have those posters up on their website. They've not posted those yet, so we can't share it for you at this moment in time.
Gotcha.
My turn. Washington Courthouse City Schools, they are honoring this fellow right here. His name is Andy Sheridan. Mm-hmm. He was born and raised in Washington Courthouse, where his passion for music began at a young age. He has toured the world with Phil Vassar, Hunter Hayes, Ben Rector, played in the studio with the likes of Stevie Wonder and many others. Well, Washington Courthouse City Schools announcing the return of the Arts Roar. It's a day dedicated to celebrating the fine arts throughout the Blue Lion family. This is coming up next Thursday, April 11th, the community invited to an evening immersed in arts, featuring a rolling art show, scavenger hunt, concert, and the induction of Andy Sheridan, a 2006 graduate of Washington High School.
Sounds like a neat program. Many times we've talked about Adena Mansion and Gardens, but I don't know that we've ever heard of an opportunity where you can dine inside the mansion. Well, now you can. Imagine those who may have dined in the dining room of the mansion 200 years ago. People like Tecumseh, President Monroe, and Henry Clay, to name a few. Well, Adena Mansion and Gardens is now offering 10 guests the chance to experience dinner and conversation in the mansion. For more information, visit their website at adenamansion.com or call 772-1500.
I know they've talked about doing this, and I can't remember if they were talking about doing it last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago they were planning on doing something like this, but rather unique and an opportunity to truly sit down and have a meal where historic characters of our lifetime have done that.
And I'm assuming they'll have, the meal will be typical of what you were eating at a meal there 200 years ago.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I believe they can actually operate that kitchen. Remember we were there and they had the big kitchen that they showed us and everything during our tour, which I think you can still find that on our YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken, from what was that? Has that been 3 years ago?
I think it was the first year I was here, yeah.
We need to go back out again and have another visit.
I want to get in on that dinner deal.
Time is running out for organizations to apply for funding to develop financial literacy programs that benefit Ohio children and young adults. The Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Financial Institutions Read my page 2.
Dan's not been feeling well. You want me to finish this? I'll take it from here, big guy. The Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Financial Institution reminds educators and financial entities to make sure they submit applications for this year's literacy education grant before April 30th. And here is Victoria Jerkovich, the program administrator.
There's a component to financial literacy when you're younger where you really set the foundation of basic wants and needs. And I think it's so important to teach that at such a young age because you utilize that well into your adulthood. And it really is the foundation of creating a budget and saving and investing. So having those small capabilities really helps kids now and then later in life.
We had to give Dan not mouth to mouth, but some kind of resuscitation off to the side during that break. Hopefully you're feeling better now. I'll keep it going here. Send him to the green room, Aaron. In our road report today, Aaron's going to take over for the rest of this segment because Dan's losing it there. Our road report today in Pickaway County, the bridge on State Route 361 between Rolfe Road and Campbell Road remains closed for repairs. The detour is US 23 to 22 on to State Route 56 and 159. Weather permitting, and that's not been too good the last few days, they hope to have this project done by tomorrow. A sad note to pass along to you. We just learned this morning that longtime band director Dave Mossbarger, who was at Adena for many, many years and then on to Chillicothe City Schools, Dave passed away this morning at age 78. Dave was also a graduate of The Ohio State University, where he played in the marching band and even had the opportunity, I think more than once, to dot the I in Script, Ohio. Dave Mossbarger, dead at the age of 78. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports. Maybe Dan will rejoin us. We'll find out here in just a moment.
Can they hear him, do you think?
I don't know. If we think he's okay, he's
hacking up a storm
he's
back
just
there.
hacking up some phlegm or something like that. Yeah. Next up here in sports, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. They are the folks that can take care of that cleanup project around your home. You got to get rid of that junk. We'll give them a call for free. Dan could use one of these now, what he's coughing up back there. 253-8389 for a free estimate for Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier. Transactions are getting safer. And you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use. Anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
At Rathkamp Financial, we act as your advocate in all wealth matters. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
And one of our great new sponsors we welcome aboard today, Adena Health. It's healthcare providers and full range of services. Find out more at adena.org.
Thought I was going to need those services here just a moment ago.
We were just about ready to call the squad for you. Now sports.
Yes.
High school games, not a lot played last night, not as many as could have been played because of the weather. But you can see baseball, Washington beat McLean. One SVC game that we could track down, Southeastern beat Piketon. in the MSL Buckeye Fairfield Union over Liberty Union, and then dropping down in the SOC. A lot more of those games were played. Wheelersburg, Southwestern, and Notre Dame were all winners. Waverly Valley, that had to be suspended in the 8th inning due to darkness. So they were already in extra innings, and obviously they didn't have lights to continue, so they had to postpone. On the softball side, again, the SOC got the majority of the games in last night. Notre Dame, Southwestern, and Northwest were all winners. Taze Valley softball, you see down there at the bottom, non-conference, they're playing down at Myrtle Beach for the rest of this week, and they were a winner over Northside Christian, 15-0. Jackson softball had a non-conference game. Lancaster and Logan were also victorious. And
how are those non-intermediate games of the week?
Pardon me now?
Down in North Carolina.
I'm all for that. Yeah, I can make that trip. By the way, boys volleyball tonight, a big matchup, has Unioto traveling into Chillicothe. And I think the Cavs are 7-1, Unioto's 2-0 this year. Good news for the Redlegs and the Guardians.
Yeah, Reds winning at 4-1 yesterday, and Frankie Montas really had it going last night. He lost it there late and left the bases loaded, but they got out of the jam, no problem there. 4-1 the final, so they take 2 of 3 against the Phillies. I told my wife, it would have been Tuesday night, I said, they're supposed to play at 1 o'clock tomorrow. They're not going to play at 1 o'clock. And she says, what do you mean? Aren't they allowed to play at 1 o'clock? I said, no, the rain's not going to let them. So it was pushed back to 4 and then pushed back to 7:30. So they finally got things wrapped up. But
at 8, it started at 8.
Yeah. So they're off tonight and back in Cincinnati to take on the Mets. So the Metropolitans coming to town.
Guardians were winners last night, or actually yesterday afternoon, 8-0 over Seattle to complete that series, winning it 2-1. The Guardians do play today. That's an afternoon game at Minnesota. And the Suns set on the Cavaliers last night, 122-101, the final score. Donovan Mitchell was in the lineup last night, but the Suns were just too much. And are we doing that now? Our athlete of the week or holding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week is
McKenna Nisley, a 2022 Washington Courthouse graduate. Now she's pitching for Ohio Wesleyan, and she just recently earned the North Coast Athletic Conference recognition with the lowest earned run average of 1.79. So that is leading that NCAC conference. So again, another example of some of our local high school athletes moving on to the college level and still doing well.
Congratulations. Another sad note to pass along. Boone Jenner, did you?
I did see that.
That with the Columbus Blue Jackets mentioning that his son was stillborn yesterday. So our thoughts are certainly with them and their family.
Yeah. So that's a look at sports. This day in history, which we're taking you back, Aaron wasn't around, but we were, 1973. Coming up. Custom tank colors and wraps. Find out how a propane tank can be beautiful. Check in with litterpropane.com.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. Visit ChillicotheOhio.com for the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. This date in history.
1973. What would become known to most people as the Twin Towers, or the World Trade Center, officially opens in New York City. The buildings replaced the Empire State Building as the world's tallest building, though they would only hold that title for 1 year because the then Sears building in Chicago was built. They remained a dominant feature of the New York City skyline and were recognizable the world over long before they were destroyed in that terror attack of 2001. But they opened up on this date in 1973.
Our buddy Buzz Perry, his father was instrumental in building that set of Twin Towers. And I recall him talking about I think it was 1973 or so, maybe 72, where they got to go ride on this elevator on the outside of the building.
Oh, wow.
To go up. And I can't imagine what that was like for a kid. Yeah. It's something when you fly into New York City and you see all those buildings kind of like just jutting up out of the earth at you. But I can't imagine what that was like to ride on an elevator.
I remember first and only time I was ever in New York when we were driving in from New Jersey, and it's like off in the horizon you could see it almost looked like a bunch of a black wall. And it was all of those skyscrapers in the lower Manhattan. And it was just fascinating to see, as far away as we were, probably still a good 5 miles away, that you could see the highlight of that on the horizon. It's just fascinating how tall those buildings are.
I was never in New York City when the trade towers were standing. I was there in 2005. When they were still doing some cleanup and laying the foundation for what they have today. And still was very somber.
Yeah.
They had a lot of memorials still up to people who were lost in that 2001 tragic day that we had on 9/11. And it's hard for us now, how many years later? 23 years later. We're trying to remember what life was like prior to that, and you'll see a movie every once in a while, and you'll see the Twin Towers in there. And then there's somebody like Aaron who, all of his life, you've never seen what it looked like.
I was alive for 9 months, 10 months.
But you have no recollection.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Obviously.
I might.
It might come to him here sometime. Yeah.
One of these days, they'll go deep into one of those files in his mind to find out where it is.
Exactly.
But yeah, my sister, I believe, had been on those Twin Towers like 2 weeks before the attacks.
Wow.
And we can go back and talk about our experiences with 9/11, but the many people that we have known that were involved in some fashion, either worked there, lived there, visited there, whatever the case may be. And they were quite the structures.
Oh, yeah.
And just amazing to see how now it's just changed.
Yeah.
Due to that tragic day.
Yes, sir.
All right, tomorrow, no special edition for tomorrow morning. We can tell you that this afternoon we're scheduled to visit with Javon Moffmer, the GMAC Player of the Year, of course, a longtime Cavalier, and just finished up his Cedarville University basketball career. So we'll talk with him coming up this. I'm interested in seeing if he's going to follow in his brother's footsteps, who Brandon is playing professionally over in Europe. So it's one of the questions I plan to ask. So all that and whatever else we can throw together. Don't forget to take a look at our YouTube channel. We've got stuff that'll be appearing over the weekend that Aaron is working on for us. And we'll also get you caught up to date through our social media with the high school sports. Litter Media X, that's where you'll find the current updates. But then we'll also have everything on our website too, littermedia.com. So for the boys, I'm Dan Ramey. Finally put back together. We'll talk to you tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.